So today we're going to be making rough puff pastry. The ingredients we're going to need for this are 200 grams of plain flour and 150 grams of butter. However, I've got 50 grams of chilled butter and I've got 100 grams of frozen butter, which is still currently in the freeze, and I'll get that out when needed. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to sieve the flour into the bowl and add a pinch of salt to that. Okay, pinch of salt, and just give that a bit of a stir. Okay, so I've got the chilled butter here, so I've got 50 grams of chilled butter. I'm just going to chunk it, and it's quite hard today because it's quite a hot day, so to make pastry in warm conditions is quite hard. So remember, I'm going to use my fingertips again just to rub the butter with my fingers into the flour until it resembles breadcrumbs. Okay, what we're now going to do is we're now going to add the liquid to the dry ingredients. So you can see now it's fine breadcrumbs. So remember, the flour, the purpose of the flour is to strengthen this and give structure and elasticity to the actual pastry. It binds the ingredients together and actually makes it pastry. The butter adds flavour and gives the pastry its melt in the mouth. Now, because we're making puff pastry, we're using a high quantity of butter compared to when we made short crust. When we made short crust, it was half the quantity of fat to flour. This is 3/4 of the quantity of fat to flour. So if you've got 200, we've got 200 grams of flour, it's 150 grams of fat. Okay, so what I'm now going to do is add lemon juice. Now, you might think lemon juice is a bit of a strange thing to add, but it has a purpose. The lemon juice tenderises the dough. It makes it easier to roll out, and it prevents it from shrinking when being cooked. So I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of lemon juice. You can use freshly squeezed, but I haven't got a lemon in the house, so I'm just going to use lemon juice. And to that, I'm now going to add cold water. Now, I'm probably going to need between 6 and 8 tablespoons of water. Don't add too much. Remember to use a knife to combine. So I'm going to add a few at a time. Now I've got ice cold water here, and the pastry, we need to keep it as cold as possible, okay? So I'm just going to bring it together. I need to add enough water so it forms a nice dough that's not flaky, but not sticky. So that was 2, 3, 4. I can see it's coming together. You can do this in a food processor if you've got one, but I'm assuming some people don't, so I'm doing everything by hand. This one I can get my hands and bring it together, and I can then tell by the consistency. It still feels a little bit dry, so I'm going to add one more. And that should be enough. Okay. Now you might be wondering what I've done with the other 100 grams of butter, and we're going to add that in a minute. Okay, so we've only got 50 grams of butter in here at the moment. Okay. So there is my dough. Okay, so what I'm now going to do, I've had a bit of a tidy up. So what I'm now going to do is I'm now going to just lightly dust my surface with flour. Because what I want to do now is I want to roll the dough out into a rectangle. Keep moving it to prevent it from sticking. Okay, so can you see that on the screen? So what I'm now going to do is I'm now going to get the frozen butter out of the freezer. I'm going to grate it. I'm going to grate half the butter and put half the butter on 2/3 of the pastry. Now you might think it's a bit strange to grate butter, and I'm going to hold the butter in baking paper so it doesn't melt. So I want half of this, I'm going to grate it directly onto the pastry. Now we want this to be kept whole, because obviously this is what's going to give it puffiness as opposed to its short crust pastry. Okay, so that's about half. Okay, and I'm going to grate half the frozen butter, okay, on the bottom 2/3 of the dough. So about there. What I'm now going to do is I'm now going to fold down the top third down. So I'm now trapping air in between each layer. I'm now going to spread that out a bit, this part over here. I'm going to create another layer. This is like called bookending, okay? I'm now going to, what I'm going to do is I'm now going to rotate this 90 degrees. Okay, so I've now got 2 layers now in there. What I'm now going to do is I'm now going to roll it out again. So I'm now trapping the butter in between each of the layers. Okay, I'm going to do the same process again with the remaining butter. So I'm going to grate it again. It's hard with the greaseproof paper, I don't want to grate the greaseproof paper. Use my fingertips now. My hand very quickly. Doesn't melt. There's a lot of butter there, which is fine. So again, 2/3. Oh, it's clumping together again. Okay, top third down, bottom third up. Put that in. Then roll it out. So I'm trapping even more layers within the pastry. Okay. What I'm now going to do is I'm now going to create one more layer. So bring it third down, third across, rotate, and that's it. So I'm now going to wrap this in cling film and put in the fridge for at least half an hour. Okay. Okay, in the fridge to allow it to rest.